A dresser made of boxwood in imitation of the kind whose prototype might have been seen in a farmer's kitchen, had self-edgings of fancy cut newspaper and held the remainder of the set of pink glass cups and saucers. July presented her to his wife. A small black closed-faced and huge hams on which the woman rested on the earth floor as among questions, turning this way and that as she took tin kettle from the wisp of hearth ashes to pour tea silently over the mug an old lady held and adjusted the feeding bottle in the hands of a child past the age of weaning, whose eyes were turning up in sleep on her own lap. She frowned appealingly under July's chiving voice, swayed murmured greeting sounds. She says she can be very happy, she can be very pleased to please you in her house. She can be very glad to see you. Long time now, July's people. But she had said nothing. Maureen took her hand and then that of the old lady who saw somebody's mother. July saw his wife's. The old lady whose wore gilt drop earrings and tin brooch with red glass stones pinned her black snail shell turban. Then bare feet soled with ash stuck out from the layers of skirt which she squatted. She demanded something of July, growling a clearing of the throat before each question and looking her head crooked up at the white woman who smiled and inclined herself repeated greeting. There were several others, young women and half-grown girls in the hut. His wife's sister-in-law, one of his daughters. He introduced them with a collective sweep in terms of kinship and not by name. The small child was his last born, conceived as all his children were, on one of his home leaves and born in his absence. Maureen had provided presents for him to send them home on her behalf at the news of each birth. And to this woman, July's wife, never seen, never imagined, had sent toys for the children and whatever it seemed to be surely any woman, no matter where or how she lived, she could use a nightgown, a handbag. When July returned from leave, he would bring back with him in return woven basket as a gift from his unknown wife. He saw in one of these baskets she had carried the money from the bag. His town woman was a respectable office cleaner who wore crimping two-piece dresses of her days off. She ironed his clothes with Maureen's iron and chatted to Maureen when they met in yard. The subjects were usually son being put through the high school in Soweto on his mother's earning. It was understood July's responsibility was to his own family. Far away, the town woman had no children, fathered by her lover. Once had put a hand under her breasts, with the gesture which women declare themselves in conscious control of their female destiny. It's all finished. I am sterilized. In confidence, her black city English sophisticated in the vocabulary relevant to the kind of life led there. It was early morning, but in their hut, women were dreamy, as at the end of the day. Furzy blank sunlight rested from a single pane-sized aperture in the walls across the profile of a young girl, twitching hump knuckles of old lady, spread legs, stated child, on an iron bedstead tidily made up fringed blade blankets. One of the half-grown girls plaiting the hair on the bent head of another. Perhaps they had been out since the first light gathering wood or working in their fields. Maureen was aware among them in the hut of not knowing where she was in time, in order order of a day, as she had always known it.